Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text, time to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer, the kids' room or the garage. That's how we've been doing it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way, and thank you, especially thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friend, are rocking it. This is for the Narrative Lectionary. We are looking at Luke chapter 6, verses 1 to 16. And we have disciples eating, we have disciples getting into trouble, we have work going on in the Sabbath, and Jesus lifts up that Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath, that the Sabbath was made for humans and not humans for the Sabbath, and how law is for our benefit and not that we have taken that and expanded it. I mean, there's all kinds of things directions we can go on this, but ultimately I'm looking at that we are called to love, and when we love, there are times that is going to upset people, because we have these lines that we draw and we say they are out and they don't deserve love, we are in and we deserve love, and God messes with all of that and reminds us that we are all worthy of love. And that's ultimately in the underneath this, where all of this stuff happens, where there's this breaking of the law, and but yet it's for the benefit and the health of the created one, those of us that were created by God. And those of us means all of us were created by God. So a couple of springboards that I've been playing around with this, and it kind of falls into that idea of godly play. So maybe a play set where you've got fake food and you're talking about and you're setting up the table, and I wonder those who saw Jesus love different, share love with people that were outside, or you're setting the table up and it's Sunday and you're having the conversation about what's going on. So there's this godly play moment and asking the I wonder. And so there's the I wonder. The other springboard that I've been thinking about, and this is more in my own experience, but you might have something that plays along with that. And that is when my son, who's now 22, but when my son was 4 or 5, he would dress up as a police officer and he would have a ticket. He would have his book of tickets. And he would always give my grandfather, his great-grandfather, Pa, he would always give Pa a ticket. And that's because he knew that Pa would pay the ticket. So he'd give the ticket and he would get his $2 or whatever, what the ticket was. But he knew that if he gave Pa a ticket, he would get paid. And in that, we have this law that's happening where it's almost like these people have this ticket pad and they're watching Jesus. They're watching Jesus. They see the disciples and they're like, we've got you now. And Jesus has this way of turning everything on its head and reminding folks that the law and all of that was created for us, versus God didn't say, here's this law, and then I'm going to create people in order to fulfill it. No, the law was for our benefit, and Jesus says, hey, is it better to do good or do bad? Is it better to heal this person now or just let him suffer? And there's times where, and I think this is important for kids, this is important for adults, there's times where we are called to love, and it's going to make other people uncomfortable, yet we're still called to love. So now there's a lot of springboards in here. Still working on my final, that direction that I'm going with. But ultimately, it's that God loves us all. God asks us to share God's love with all. And like the disciples eating on the Sabbath, or picking grain, that was a work, that is considered against the law. And those things where it's like God's love and God's grace always wins. That's always the number one thing. Anyway, working on it still. I'm hoping something in here can be a springboard for your own children's sermon. And thank you so much for the love, since we're talking about love, thank you so much for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You are rocking it. Thank you. Peace. And we will see you next week.